Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. This is Life Coach Ladybyrd-T, where we spill all the tea on how to live your most empowered life. So come on in. Let's take a chat. Today I want to talk about the path to personal transformation. And that's so powerful because when we tend to think about self-development or begin to think about one's better self, we immediately start saying, oh, I got to go buy a new pair of shoes. I got to go buy a new outfit. I got to go buy some new makeup or new lipstick. I got to get my hair done. And even though those things are vital in your transformation, the most important thing is the mind. That's what we want to target on today, on our thinking pattern. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You want to renew the way you think. If you are applying for a job and you keep thinking in your mind, I'm not going to get it. You keep telling yourself, I'm not going to get it. You're thinking negative about it. You're probably not going to get it. If you applied for a loan and you begin to have negative thoughts on, I'm not going to get this loan, it's not going to happen for me, you're probably not going to get the loan. But when you begin to think about the promises of God, this yes and amen, when you begin to think about those things which have been promised to you, and you begin to speak those things that you don't see, those things that are not as though they were, you will begin to see that things will begin to manifest into your life at a rapid rate. And it all depends on your spiritual growth, where you're at in your walk with your higher self. Have you tapped into self-development? Have you tapped into being a better you? Have you been through a series of tests? Then this message is for you today. I believe I'm talking to somebody today that has a lot of promises of your life, but it seems like they're being held up and that they're not being fulfilled. And I'm here to tell you today that it's because you have to transform the way you're thinking so that you can take it out of the spiritual and bring it into the natural. And how do we do that? We begin to manifest by speaking those things that are not as though they were. By saying, I already have that job. And you continue to say that. And when any negative thought comes, you just get that negative thought out your mind and begin to think positive. That home that you applied for, that you think that you can't get, if someone else can get a home, you can get a home. It's the way you think. It's how you apply your thinking. So you have to be transformed by the renewing of your mind today. Self-mastery. What I'm seeing is, a lot of people out in the field, and it's a minefield, and they're being trained how not to step into different traps or bombs. And it's self-mastering, knowing yourself, knowing how your body moves, knowing how your body works, knowing how your mind thinks, knowing how the power that lies on the inside of you. It's called self-mastery. It's walking through a minefield and having to trust what's on the inside of you, what has been developed on the inside of you, how you think. Am I going to make it through this minefield? Heck yeah, I'm going to make through it because I got to get home to my kids and my family. So it's the way you think. It's the power of your thinking and being renewed and transformed by the renewing of your mind. Being developed into oneself or into a higher you, it requires a series of testing. Have you ever noticed that it seems like everybody around you is being blessed, but everything about you is being tested, from your big toe to your little finger to your ear? Everything is being tested. And it's because it's bringing you into a higher self. It's building character. It's transforming the way you think, how you think about things, and developing personal growth within you by the things that you're being tested on. So when things come to test you, don't always look, even though it doesn't feel good when you're being tested, because sometimes it just comes out of the air, the blue. And it's like, where did this come from? Why am I going through this? Why am I facing these difficulties? There is something within you that needs to be developed. And so by going through a test and building character in those areas which need to be developed, you begin to move into your higher self, which causes you to move into a higher degree of manifesting those things that you desire. So the less you work on your mastery of self-development, then the lower your percentage is in your manifestations. So there's 30-fold, there's 60-fold, and there's 100-fold. And so those that are moving in 30-fold, they're moving slowly. Maybe they're working on self-development, but they're not, they're only going to a certain extent. This is as much as I'm going to work on my self-development. They're not mastering, working on their development each day. So they stay in this 30-fold realm and they wonder why. Well, I've been said that this is going to happen in my life, or that this is going to happen in my life, but I'm only seeing a little bit of that being manifested in my life. And that's because of your development and your growth and where you're at in your walk as a 30-fold manifestation person. For a 60-fold, then you may get maybe half of what was spoken in your life that you're supposed to get, because you work on your self-development and you work on it to a certain speed, you burn out, and it's like, this is the furthest I'm going to go in working on my self-development. I'm, tired of, working on my self-development. So I'm going to stay at this 60-fold level. And that's what you get. You get a 60-fold blessing. Now, a blessing is a blessing. But I don't know about you, but I want the 100-fold blessing. I want everything that has been promised to me. And so therefore, I'm going to wake up every morning and I'm going to work on renewing and transforming my mind. I'm going to work on the mastery of building myself, of knowing myself, of developing myself, of becoming into a better version of myself. And I'm going to withstand the test. I know that this too shall pass. So test doesn't last always. But the thing is how you're going to go through that test. Are you going to go through that test crying and whining and complaining? Or are you going to go through that test saying, I got this, it hurts, it doesn't feel good, but I know if I keep pushing, I know that if I keep developing, I know that if I keep mastering, I know that if I keep showing discipline in this situation, then I'm going to be transformed. And all those things that have been promised to me will and shall come to pass. So I am so excited today because, the chosen ones, we go through so much. It's like one thing after the other. But when you sit back and you look at all the goodness that's in your life and that's around you, you look at how you have self-developed, where you're at in your walk, how you have advanced in your spiritual gifts, how you are able to speak a thing and it will happen. It's because of all the things that you have mastered in your self-development. Where you're at in your self-development may not be where someone else is in their self-development. But if we strive daily to be transformed by the renewing of our mind and to self-master our development within ourselves, we'll see that we'll begin to, we always talk about our higher self. What is higher self? It's being able to tap into your spiritual self, your spiritual being, in places where you can go in the spiritual realm and you can call a thing and manifest it in the natural. Oh, yes, you can. So as you walk daily, as you begin to self-develop, as you begin to bring discipline in your life on getting up every morning, meditating, seeking the Most High, crying out, fasting, praying, believing, you know that something has to break. Something has to happen, because now whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, those things that I'm thinking on. I'm not thinking on those things that are negative. I'm not thinking on those things that are bringing me down. I'm not thinking about all the people that's out there lying and cheating and gossiping. I pray for those folks, yes. But what I'm concerned about is my self-development and being transformed by the renewing of my mind, that I'm able to walk into the promises of God that is yes and amen. When he says that we should lay up wealth not only for our children, but our children's children, I believe in that. I believe in that. And the only way we're going to be able to manifest that is to change the way we're thinking. So what God has done for one person, he'll do it for you. You just have to be renewed in your mind today. So hopefully I've said something that has been a blessing to you and that can help you along the way on your journey. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. So yes, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification button. I love you guys, and remember, today is the best day of your life. Today is the best day of my life, and we'll talk soon.